Yarashala.
Layashala means to Israel. Madium, Wapanya, Hakatam, which means stand and face the east. Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew, then in English. Abanao.
Abanao.
Shabbat Shemayah.
Shabbat Shemayah.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Shaya.
Shaya.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakwaka.
Malakwaka.
Taba'a.
Taba'a.
Ratazaka.
Ratazaka.
Haya.
Haya.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Ba'arataza.
Ba'arataza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Haya.
Haya.
Bashamayam.
Bashamayam.
Natan Lanaw.
Natan Lanaw.
Lacham.
Lakam.
Kal.
Kal.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalak Lanaw.
Wasalak Lanaw.
Kawawak Naw.
Kawawak Lanaw.
Kasalak Naw.
Kasalak Lanaw.
Kawawak Yanaw.
Kawawak Lanaw.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Tabaya'a Naw.
Tabaya'a Naw.
Manasayawan.
Manasayawan.
Abab.
Abab.
Hawashai Naw.
Hawashai Naw.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rai.
Rai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Hamalakwa.
Hamalakwa.
Wa'ala.
Wa'ala.
Wa'atapa Araf.
Wa'atapa Araf.
La'ai Walamya.
La'ai
Aman.
Aman. Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father.
Our Father.
Which art in heaven.
Which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth as it is in heaven.
In earth as it is in
Give
heaven.
us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily
And
bread.
forgive us our debts.
As we give us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into
Lead
temptation.
us not into temptation.
Deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever so be it.
Forever so be it. Prayer for the power. First in Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Babakushai.
Babakashah.
Nathanaw.
Dandanaw.
Akak.
Hakak.
Akak.
Hakak.
Larapa'a.
Larapa'ah.
Kamakala.
Kamakala.
Wakamalawa.
Wakamarawa.
Lakak.
Hakak.
Latahar.
Latahar.
Hamatazariah.
Hamatazariah.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Lahakoyam.
Lahakoyam.
Hamathiam.
Hamathiam.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Al-Rakawa.
Al-Rakawah.
Hatama'ala.
Hatama'ala.
Lagarshad.
Lagarashan.
Ba'asham.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Wala.
The water.
Aman.
Aman. The power in the English. Yahweh in the name of Yahushai.
Yahweh in the name of Yahushai.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of
The
sickness.
power to heal all manner of
And
sickness.
all manner of disease.
And all manner of
The
disease.
power to cleanse the
The
lepers.
power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
Cast them out in the name of Yahushai.
Pass them out in the name of Yahushai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. Alright, Psalms 121, first in Hebrew. Asha'ah.
Ashah.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Al-Haharyam.
Al-Haharyam.
Ma'ayan.
Ma'ayan.
Yaba'ah.
Yaba'ah.
Isaiah.
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 Ma'ayin.
Ma'ayin.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Shamayam.
Shamayam.
Wa'arataza.
Wa'arataza.
Al-Yatan.
Al-Yatan.
Lamawat.
Lamawat.
Regalka.
Regalka.
Al-Yanawam.
Al-Yanawam.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Ana.
Hana.
La'a.
La'ah.
Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Wala'a.
Wala'ah.
Yayashan.
Yayashan.
Shawamar.
Shawamar.
It's like Yasharala.
Yasharala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazalka.
Shadalka.
Al-Yad.
Al-Yad.
Yamyanka.
Yamyanka.
Wamawam.
Yamawam.
Hashamash.
Hashamash.
La'ayakaka.
La'ayakaka.
Wayarak.
Wayarak.
Balayala.
Balayela.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamarka.
Yashamarka.
Makal Rai.
Makal Rai.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Athna Pashka.
Akna Paska.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Taza'atka.
Taza'atka.
Wabu'aka.
Wabu'aka.
Ma'aitha.
Ma'aita.
Wa'ai-Ulam.
Wa'ai-Ulam. Psalms 121 in English. I will lift up my eyes unto the hill.
I will lift up my eyes into the
From
hill.
which cometh my help.
From which cometh my help.
My help coming from the
My
Lord,
help coming from the Lord.
which made heaven and earth.
Who made heaven and
He
earth.
will not suffer thy foot to be
He
moved.
will not suffer thy foot to be
He that
moved.
keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not
Behold.
slumber. Behold.
He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor
The
sleep.
Lord is thy keeper.
Lord is thy
The
keeper.
Lord is the shade upon thy right
The
hand.
Lord is the shade upon thy right
The
hand.
sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by
The
night.
Lord shall preserve thee from all
The
evil.
Lord shall shall preserve thee from all
He
evil.
shall preserve thy
He
soul.
shall preserve thy soul.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
The Lord shall preserve thy going
and thy
out
coming in
and thy coming in
from this time
from
forward,
this time forward,
even forevermore.
even forevermore. All right, blessings in Hebrew. Barak,
Barak,
Atah,
Atah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Mayaka
Wa
Allah,
Mayaka'ala,
Wa Alahaya,
Wa Alahayim,
Matazabiyah,
Matazabia,
Alawap Yahana,
Alawap Yahana,
Ha Alawapyam,
Ha Alawapyim,
Ha Saranyam,
Ha Saranyim,
Ha Quatazayanyam,
Ha Quatazayanyim,
Ha Kayayalyam,
Ha Kalyayayim,
Wa Ha Akwathyam,
Wa Ha Agwakyim,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Wa Hashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Wada,
the water,
Aman.
Aman. The blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai,
Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai,
and Michael,
and Michael,
and the angels,
and the angel,
Commander General Yohana,
Commander General
the
Yohana,
generals,
the general,
the captains,
the captain,
the officers,
the officers,
the troopers,
the troopers,
and the sisters.
and the sisters.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai,
thank you, so be it.
thank you, so be it. Psalms 83, verse in Hebrew. Alahaya,
Alhayim,
Al Damayalaka,
Al Damaya Lakat,
Al Takarash,
Al Takarash,
Wa Al Tashakwat,
Wa Al Tashakwat,
Al
Al
Kayahana,
Kayahana,
Awabiaka,
Awabyaka,
Yahama Yawan,
Yahama Yawan,
Wamashana Yaka,
Wamashana Yaka,
Rasha Awa,
Nasha'awa,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Al Imaka,
Al Imaka,
Yaira Yamwa,
Ya'irayamwa,
Sawad,
Sawad,
Wayataya Aitazawad,
Wayataya Aitazawa,
Al Tazapanwa Yaka,
Al Tazapanwan Yaka,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Wanakakidam,
Wanakakidam,
Magaya,
Magaya,
Wala'a,
Wala'ah,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yasharala,
Sham Yashirala,
Iwad,
Aiwad,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Naya Aitazawa,
Nawa Aitazawa,
La,
La,
Yakadwa,
Yakadwa,
Al Yaka,
Al Yakar,
Baryat,
Bayath,
Yakarafwa,
Yakarathwa,
Ahalia,
Ahalya,
Adawam,
Alawan,
Wayashamai Alawam,
Wayashamai Alayam,
Mawa Abba,
Mawa'aba,
Wahagaria,
Wahagaria,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Wa'ima one,
Wa'ima One,
Wa'ima Lak,
Wa'ima
Palashat,
Palashat,
Anya Shabia,
Anya Shabia,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Galamasha War,
Garamashawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Zarawai,
Zarawai,
Labanya Lawat,
Laban Yalawat,
Selah,
Salah,
Aishalaham,
Aishalaham,
Kamadian,
Kamadian,
Kasayasara,
Kasayasara,
Kayabian,
Kayabian,
Barachal,
Banakal,
Koyashwan,
Kayashian,
Nashamadwa,
Nashamadwa,
Ba'ayanda Ara,
Ba'ayan Da'ara,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
La'alma,
La'adama,
Shayatamwa,
Shayatamwa,
Nada Yapmawa,
Nada Yamawa,
Ka'ira,
Ka'ara,
Wakazabat,
Wakazaba,
Wakazabat,
Wakazaba,
Wakatazamanai,
Wakatazalmanai,
Kal Nasayakamwa,
Kal Nasaya Kamwa,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Nayarashad,
Nayarashad,
Nanawa,
Nanawa, Ad,
Na'awath,
Naawath,
Alahaya,
Alahayim,
Alaya,
Alahayah,
Shayatamwa,
Shayatamwa,
Galgala,
Kagalgala,
Kakwash,
Kwash,
Lapanya Racha,
Lapanya Rakah,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Taba Ira Ya Ira,
Taba Ira Ya'ira,
Wakalahaba,
Wakala Alba,
Talahat,
Dalahath,
Hayam,
Hayam,
Khan,
Khan,
Taradapma,
Darabdapma,
Basa Irika,
Basa Irika,
Wabasa Wapatka,
Wabasa Wapatka,
Dabahalam,
Dabahalam,
Mala'a,
Mala'a,
Panyaham,
Panyaham,
Kualawan,
Kualawan,
Wayabakwashwa,
Wayabakwashwa,
Shumka,
Shumka,
Yahawa,
Yahawah,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Wayabahalwa,
Wayabahalwa,
Ay,
Ay,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayabadwa,
Wayabadwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Ata,
Ata,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahawa,
Yahawah,
Labadka,
Labadka,
Aliwan,
Ayawan,
Alkal Ha-Aratazar.
Al-Kal Ha'aratazar. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O
Hold
God.
not thy peace and be not still, O
Hold
God.
not thy peace and be not still, O God.
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
They that hate thee have lifted up the head.
If they that hate thee have lifted up the
They
head.
have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Consulted against thy hidden ones.
Consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
come and let us cut them off from being a nation,
come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That the name of Israel may be no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacles of Edom.
and the Ishmaelites,
And the Ishmaelites.
of Moab,
Moab.
and the
And
Hagarenes,
Hagarenes.
Gabal,
Gabal.
and Ammon,
And Ammon.
and Amalek,
And Amalek.
the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre.
The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
Assur also has joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites,
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
as to Sisera,
As to Sisera.
as to Jabin,
As to Jabin.
as the crooked Kisan,
At the brook of
which
Kisan.
perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb,
Make their nobles like
and like
Oreb.
Zeb,
And like Zeb.
yea,
Yea.
all their princes as Zebah,
All their princes as
and
Zabah.
as Zalmunna,
And as Zalmunna.
who said,
Who said,
let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession.
let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession.
Oh my God,
Oh my God.
make them like a wheel,
Make them like a wheel.
as a stubble before the wind,
As a stubble before the wind.
as a fire burneth the wood,
As the fire burns the wood.
and as the flame sets the mountains on fire.
And as the flames set the mountains
So
on fire.
persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy
and
tempest.
make them afraid with thy
And
storm.
make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame.
that they may seek thy name, O Lord.
That they may seek thy name, O Lord.
Let them be confounded and troubled forever.
Let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea.
let them be put to shame
Let them be put to shame
and perish.
and perish.
That men may know that thou,
That men may know that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
art the Most High over all the
are
earth.
the most high over all the earth. Bless Israel for the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai.
Yahushai,
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa,
Wayasharala.
Wayasharala,
Wahabayat Sapari.
Wahabayat Saparia,
Barak.
Barak,
Rapa'ah.
Rapa'ah,
Magan.
Magan,
Magan.
Magan,
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai.
Yahushai,
Wad.
the water,
Aman.
Aman. Bless Israel in the English. Lord, in the name of Yahushai,
Lord, in the name of Yahushai.
bless us
Bless us.
and Israel
And Israel.
and the school.
And the school.
Bless,
Bless.
heal,
Heal.
shield,
Shield.
protect.
Protect.
In the name of
In the
Yahushai,
name of Yahushai.
thank you so big.
Thank you, so be it. Blessed are you, Yahweh,
Bless are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and earth,
and all things living.
all things living.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai,
Listen to us now.
listen to us now,
Right now.
right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses,
And punishment and destruction.
punishment and
To
destruction
the heathen.
to the
That
heathen
speak against us.
that speak against
Thy
us,
prophets.
thy
The
prophets,
teachers.
the teachers,
The princes.
the princes,
The priests.
the priests,
The Israelite brothers.
the Israelite brothers,
And the school.
and the schools.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses,
And punishment and destruction.
punishment and destruction
To the heathen.
to the heathen,
And shake loose the treasure
and shake loose the treasure
of the rich of
of
Israel.
the rich of
They
Israel
refuse to give to the
that
school.
refuse to give to the school,
Force their riches
force their riches
to to enter into thy sanctuary,
to enter into thy sanctuary,
send evils and curses,
send evils and curses,
and punishment and destruction, to the Edomites,
and
the nations,
and the nations,
and their drug dealers,
court system,
prison system, Planned
Planned Parenthood,
all the governments of our
enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic
Church, the Pope,
Islam,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
skinheads,
posse comitatus,
Kamitazi,
the gay movement,
the
lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program,
Army,
Navy,
Air Force, Marines,
Wall Street, open up the internet,
and the airwaves,
the cable access channel, and the radio channel, convict the spirit of any of thy people, that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction, to all the heathen, that stand in the way, or try to stop us, from broadcasting your words, throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro, through the earth, and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief, and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai,
Michael,
Gabriel come down with the flying saucers, and punish all the heathen, that come up against us, as we speak thy word, cause it to be known by all, that is the angels that have done it, cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world, cause them to shake at thy coming, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always, so be it. Sarah, which means turn, and Yeshabim, which means be seated. So, I'm going to pick up in the book of Genesis, the 4th chapter, starting at the 15th verse. Waya Amar, Lawa, Yahweh, Lakan, Kal, Harag, Koyan, Shabbathium, Yaquam, Wayasham, Yahweh, Lakoyan, Awath, Labalathia, Hakawath, Achwa, Kal, Taza'awa, verse 16. Waya Taza'a, Kwayan, Malapanya,
Yahweh. Shab, Ba'aratazar, Nawad, Qadamath, Qadamta, Aidan, verse 17. Wayadai, Kwayan, Ath, Ashathwa, Wathahar, Wathalad, Ath, Khanawak, Wayahaya, Mana, Ayar, Wayaqwara'a, Sham, Ayar, Kasham, Banwa, Khadawak. Verse 18.
Shalom. Okay.
Wait, I was on the bus. We had a camp today?
Verse 18. Wayawalad, Lanawak, Ath, Ayarad, what Ayarad? Okay. Yalad, Ath, Machawayal, well, Machayayal, Yalad, Ath, Mathawashaya, Watha, it's like it. Mata Wasaya al. Ha, it's like a wa, mata wasa'al, yalat, ath, lamak. That's 19. Wayakwak, lawa, lamak. Sataya, Nasayam, Sham, Ha'aka, Aida, Wasam, Hashanayath, Tazala. All right, verse 20. Wathalad, Aida, Ath, Yabal, Hawa'a, Haya, Abaya, Yashab, Ahal, Wamakwana, verse 21. Washam, Achaya, Yawabal, Haya'a, Ha'a, Abaya, Kal, Tapash, Kwanawar, Wa'aiwagab. Let's start back up at verse 15.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 15. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold.
Right.
And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him.
And so we went over last week how, spiritually, the Cain is still in this earth, and it's the devil the Bible speaks of, the so-called white man.
Right.
And we know that this is true about him, right? Anybody that's trying to do anything against the so-called white man, he is coming back sevenfold on you. People, think that it might have been justified or whatever to go over and do what they did after 9/11, right? But most of the people that was fighting in the war, at the end of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, they weren't even born when it happened.
Right.
See, your children's children will be at war. If you come at Esau one time, they will come for you for the end until the end of eternity, right? So it says whoever therefore slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. That was more than sevenfold. The comparison of what happened in the Twin Towers and how they decimated entire countries.
Right.
They overthrew the governments for 2, 3 countries all at once. Yeah, 3,000 people died, and of course you go get your vengeance for your people. But you have destroyed generations of people. And this is just one incident.
Right.
Right? This is just one incident. If they feel slighted by you. So, the United States and this oppressor, right, went to war, World War II, right? Hawaii wasn't a state at the time.
Right.
Hawaii was just a place that we had a nice little, it's almost like Puerto Rico, right? But we just had a base there, right? And so when this country was attacked, they weren't even attacked on their own soil.
All right.
It was a military base attack. When they went and destroyed the Ammonite, those Ammonite cities, they still can't live in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They destroyed them for generations to come. It's like after an attack on a military base.
Right.
They didn't attack a civilian population. They didn't attack you on the mainland. You had a military outpost, and you destroyed their entire parts of their land for generations to come. Because if you ever go after Cain, if you ever try to slay Cain, Cain will come back at you sevenfold.
I'm right.
Right? Let's look at our Levite brothers and sisters, right? You think the island of Haiti just went from a bustling trade port to nothing just because just overnight? Right. This is Trump called it an S-hole country, right? But it used to produce some of the greatest wealth in the area, right? But what happened? Right? We wanted to take up arms and fight our oppressor carnally, right? Our Levite brothers and sisters had the right spirit, but they didn't fight with the right weapons, right? They fought with carnal weapons. They didn't put down the voodoo, you know what I'm saying, and start following the law, statutes, and commandments. That's not what they did, right? They took up arms against our oppressor. This is why we teach not to take up arms against them, right? We teach not to take up arms against them because the Most High said that the vengeance would belong to Him. And if you take up your own vengeance against them, it will come back to you sevenfold, right? It destroyed their economy, their wealth. Why? Because they came up and drew swords against Cain, right? So, and that's why we teach it. That's why one of the reasons why we say that ISUPK is not affiliated with any other organization on the planet. Because a lot of these organizations is telling you, get your guns and get your bunker, and get your supplies and get you a bunker. And we're not telling you to take up arms against the oppressor, right? Yeah, have your emergency supplies, be prepared. But this is why we should not fight against our enemy with carnal weapons.
That's right.
Right? The Most High, from the beginning, He said, look, anybody that take up arms against you, you're going to destroy. And we've seen that since Esau has been coming out of that mountain in Georgia, Russia, they've been destroying and taking over every single thing in front of them. Anybody that comes up against them gets wiped out and replaced. You know what I mean? The little tribals up there in Europe thought that they were going to come after the Edomites. No, the Edomites came up, killed you, took your land. Now they're the French. Now they're the Irish. Right? Now they're the Dutch. Right? Because these places were inhabited before Esau got there.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? But they kill you off because if you come after them, they are going to destroy you from the face of the earth. Because that was a blessing the Most High gave. Because that's not the way we're supposed. And that's not the way we're supposed to fight them. Right? We're not supposed to fight them the way they like to fight. Right? We saw later on that Esau was blessed with the sword. Right? That's what he knows. He knows destruction. He knows this type of warfare. Right? But when we fight the way we're supposed to fight and follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, that's the only way to defeat them. But if you try to take up arms against them, We'll be with you.
Damn right.
Like, that man gets inventive with it.
Yeah.
He got drones that listen. His kids, and when I say kids, I mean 18, 19-year-olds sitting in an office building, an air-conditioned office building in Colorado, about to go on their lunch break with their friends, but right before lunch, they dropping bombs on people's houses in somewhere in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Right.
Because all they need is a little remote control, a joystick, and a TV screen. Esau is the most destructive thing the planet has ever seen, and that's how the Most High made him to be. Like he can't be allowed to survive on this planet because all he does is destroy, right? But man, he get inventive with it, right? All right, keep going.
Verse 16. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden.
So we see that Cain went out to a city in the land of Nod, and it was east of Eden. Right, this place was already there. Right, when Cain got there, this whole city, this whole region was already there when Cain got there. So obviously, Adam and Eve were not the first people, because it's a whole city that their son goes to after he murders his brother.
Right.
Right? Keep reading.
And Cain knew his wife.
And he got a wife immediately as soon as he got to the city. So it was whole other people. He went to a whole other place, and then he got him a woman. Right? Keep going.
And she conceived and bare Enoch.
Uh-huh.
And he builded a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch.
So he built the city, right? Now, I'm sure most people understand that if you are building a house, you need help. To build a city, you have to have workers. You have to have people there to work with you, right? Because that's what you need to build. And Cain, what we can tell about Cain, especially because we see it in his descendants, right? And Esau, he ain't doing the work himself. He's not gonna do the work himself. He get other people to do it. And he gonna use that. He gonna use that gift of the sword. He gonna use that gift of total destruction of other people to have them do his will, right? So he got a city built. You know what I mean? And he named it after his son. Right? Alright, keep going.
Verse 18. And unto Enoch was born Irad. And Irad begat Mehajel. And Mehujel begat Methusiel. And Methusiel begat Lamech. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. And the name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other Zillah.
Now, so one of the things we have to remember, coming out of the world, is this book is not what most would think of as a holy book, right? This isn't a spooky, mystical book, nothing like that, right? This is a book of a record of a people, right? So they write down notable people in their history, right, and in their ancestry, right, and that branched off, right. That's the only reason any other nation is in here, right? Because this is just a keeping of record of how the different peoples went, right, and. These lineages, you find lineages all throughout the Bible, right? You don't find that in other what you call holy books, right? Because these are a record of a people, right? This is a people's constitution with their power and how their nation is established and built up and should be ran, right? So, like I said, you end up running into these lineages and certain things that are in the lineages stick out, right? So where it talks about how Lamech had 2 wives. This is the scripture that a lot of fake Israelites and Christians like to use to say how having more than one wife should be considered evil. Because they're like, well, the first person that got the record of having 2 wives is in the line of Cain. Yeah, so you know what I mean? Like this is simply a record, right? This is a record of people, right? And something that was interesting about him was he had 2 wives. That was nothing that had happened in his line before, like up to Cain. You know, it's just a record, right? And we can't read a commandment into everything written in the scripture, right? Like for example, when David told his men to number Israel, right? We're not supposed to do that, right? So we can't then say, oh well, see, David did it, so it must be okay to do. No, that's not how that works. It's just an example of what happened. This is a record of our people, right? Not everything is a commandment. When it says Yahweh said, or hear the word of the Most High to the children of Israel, that's a commandment, right? But what we'll notice in here a lot is just simple day-to-day things, right? Record keeping things, bookkeeping things, simple ways people just live, because again, this is a record of us as a people, right? All right. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And Adar bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, the same people that say that, oh, see, the first people that the first person that had 2 wives was in the line of Cain. Well, it's saying that the first person that says that lived in the house is in the line of Cain too. Does that mean you don't live in the house?
Right.
This says that the first person that mentions with any instruments, hey, that's in the line of Cain. Do they stop playing music now? Do they not listen to music? Like, that doesn't make sense. You see how when you start reading the Bible as, listen, this is just a book of records. Like, all of that garbage goes away. Like, all of that stuff that they make up and to try to sound deep, it just goes to the wayside, because that's all it is. You're trying to sound deep. You're trying to find something where it's not. Right? These are records of the people. All right? So, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and finish up this chapter. All right, so I'll pick up at verse 22. Yatazalah, Gam, Hawa'ah, Yaladha, Az, Tawabal, Kwayan, Latash, Kal, Harash, Nachashat, Wabarazal, Wa'akwath, Tawabal, Koyan, Na'ima, verse 23. Wayamar, Lakam, it's like Lamech. Lana Shayawa, Aida, Watazala, Shemai, it's like Shemai 1, so like Shemai Na, Kowalya, Nashaya, Lamak, Ha'azana, Amarthaya, Kaya, Ayash, Aragathya, La Pataza Aya, Oyalad, Lakabarathya, Kaya, Shaba'ithium, Yaquam, Koyan, Walamak, Shaba'ayim, Wa Shaba'aya, Wayadai, Adam, Iwad, Ath, Ashafwa, Wathalad, Ban, Wataqwara'a, Ath, Shamwa, Shath, Kaya, Shath, Laya, Alahayam, Zarai, Achar, Sakhath, Habal, Kaya, Agarawa, Koyan, it's 26, Walashath, Gam, Hawa'a, Yalad, Ban, Waqara'a, Shamwa, Anawash, Azah, Hawalacha, Hawachal, Laquara'a, Basham, Yahweh. Alright, so it's 22 on that one.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 22. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron.
Mm-hmm.
And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold.
So what this is basically saying, all right, so this is talking about how, like I said, these are records, right? So all this is showing you is different people who were prominent in this line, right? It shows you their careers and things like that. Let's see, can you see? No, one, one, two, three, four, five. Right. Okay. So we got like I said, people in the line of Cain, right? And it says, if Lamech shall be avenged sevenfold. I'm sorry. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech will 70-fold. It's like 70 and sevenfold. What it's basically saying is, right? Like the it's not diminishing, right? So if you avenge yourself or you try to get revenge or draw the sword against Cain, it's not that it's just Cain, but it's getting worse and worse as his generations go on, right? What you're going to get back is going to be worse and worse in return, right? For the example I just used earlier, right? So, it said that you would get back sevenfold, right? So if that would mean, let's say, the United States got attacked, right? 3,000 people died, right? That means that if it was just Cain, right, then 21,000 of your people gotta die, right? But since it's going on these generations and it's getting worse and worse, you gonna have to lose millions over that, over that 3,000. You see what I'm saying? You're going to have to lose entire countries. We're going to destroy cultures. We're going to topple your government. We're going to install literal dictators and terrorist organizations, because that is what happens when you mess with the descendants of Cain. You thought it was bad when the Most High said that it was going to be 7 times for when it was Cain. No, if it's his descendant, it's even worse than that. All right, you go.
And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth.
All right, so this is, of course, we don't have any record of Adam and Eve having any other children besides Cain and Abel before Seth was born. There's a lot of people that say, oh, well, they had daughters. There's no record. There's nothing that says that, right? So right now what we just read was, this is the only Cain at this time, up until this point, after he killed his brother, was the only living descendant of Adam, right? Of the man Adam, right? So when it's recording a family history, that's the only thing happening in that family,
right?
Is Cain is having children, right? There's no, like, even all the way down to here, And Canaan had 5 grandchildren, 5 generations already. And then now we see that Adam knowing his wife again. We don't see it happening before Cain had what? It said what? Cain had Enoch. Enoch had Mahujael. Mahujael had Methuselah. Methuselah had Lamech. Lamech. Lamech had Jabal. Like, we don't see Adam or Eve having any other kids besides this.
Right.
Right? And we see that this is generation. So where are all these women coming from?
Right.
Where are all these other people coming from? They're coming from other families. But since it's not pertinent to Israel, right? Since it's not relevant information for us as a people, and we didn't keep track of that, right? Lamech was somebody who was going to be important. Why? Because that's what comes later down and says, if Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech will be, truly Lamech 70-fold 7, right? That's the reason it mentioned how many wives he had, because he was obviously important, right? That's it. It was just a detail about an important man, because we don't see any other descendants of Adam up until verse 25, right? All right. And his name was Seth, right? Keep reading.
For God, said she, hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord.
So we know that Adam got kicked out of his state and his situation because he did not follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High God, right? Abel, was following the laws of the Most High God, right? That's why Cain killed him, right? And we see Seth had to be born and then raised up by Adam, and then Enos had to be born, so that way he could, because they had been going off for so long, right, that Adam couldn't be in the position he was supposed to be in, right? He was already compromised, right, and then he raised his son to try to take his place, but his son Seth couldn't quite get it, right? But then Enos was born, right? And then Enos was that one. You see what I'm saying? This isn't everybody that was born during that time. This isn't even Salakia. Of course, some of these men had daughters, but what is important is what is recorded, right? Because this is again a story about a people's history, and so Enos, right here, is basically that refreshing of the Most High Spirit in the earth, right? A man actually showing that this is the first attempt at repentance, right? The trying to get to do the job back again, right? Because what Adam did was go off from the Most High, right? And Enos was able to start and fulfill the role his grandfather was supposed to do in the first place, right? Let's see. All right. All right, and then and just to prove another point right here, we see that the name of the Most High is all through this part, right? It makes a difference in the Hebrew text and in the Hebrew script when it says Elohim, right, or it says Yahweh, right? Because it's also a claim that people didn't know the name of the Most High, right? But the Israelites knew. The Most High's chosen people knew his name, right? What Moses is actually asking about in the up on the mountain when he was asking about what he should tell them. It was more. It wasn't about his actual name, right? It's the reputation that he was asking about, right? It's because we have been in Egypt so long and gone off again, like what we did during the time of Adam, right? That we were used to gods that were that had a domain, right? Like, this is the god of this and this is the god of that. So what he was asking, like, basically, like, what are you the god of, right? It's not that we don't know. It's not we didn't know his name. It's that we didn't know his reputation, right? So, but we see right here, even in Genesis, the prophets of the Most High, right, called upon the name of the Most High by his name, Yahweh.
Yeah, I'm right.
Right?
Okay.
All right, anything you want to
Salaki, if I may, right here in verse 26, it clearly says that through the seed of Seth that men began to call upon the name of the Lord, not Cain. So Cain never called upon the name of the Lord in the way it's supposed to be called. It was Seth. So I just wanted to point that out.
And that's a deep point right there, because we see how many generations Cain had.
Yeah.
Like, and all Cain had to do was swallow his pride and repent.
And Salaki, all he was worried about what was going to happen to him and his seed. That's all he was worried about. He didn't give a damn about what the Most High wanted them to do.
Yeah, damn right. All right. Let's see. We are at the time and we're at the end of the chapter. So with that, Shalom Israel.
Slap you guys with the phone, man. I just found out my cousin passed